Okay.
All right, this is Kill You Last. I'm Peter Garacci.
I'm Alex Bashara.
And we have Jordyn Taylor. Welcome, Jordyn.
Oh, well, thank you guys for having me. Happy to be here.
This is exciting. Jordyn, I was thinking about it. I think you might be the last person I met before the lockdown.
Oh, I am so honored.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's a weird because I was like, because I met you at an open mic, but you're not a comedian.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
So my little cousin was performing at the open mic. He's a comedian, up and coming. And yeah, no, I'm just hilarious at home for fun.
Yeah. It was because it was, Alex, it was like right around the corner from where I live, like up in East Harlem.
Oh, okay.
And I went to this mic. I was like, oh shit, it's a block from my apartment. I might as well go check this out. Mm-hmm. But it was like one of those last days where people were like,
yeah,
should we be nervous? Should we be going out? Mm-hmm. And so it was like people had just started to talk about like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what this is going to look like. And we spoke.
All the jokes were about it. All of them.
Yeah. It was a lot of like, it was a lot of telling jokes about like, is this stupid that we're doing? I think I literally said a joke that like better to risk death than be alone with your thoughts as a comedian. So like, that's why we're doing open mics in the face of a freaking pandemic. And people are still doing open mics now. Because that's how.
No way.
Yeah, over
Zoom.
Well,
not in person.
They're doing Zoom open mics. Yeah, it's a big thing right now.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we spoke for a minute, and you've got like a really great like social media presence. Like I don't know if you do other stuff besides Instagram, but I've seen like you do like videos and stuff on Instagram. So I was like, she like really knows what she's doing.
I'm not at all. I kind of just it's like a variety show. No one on my Instagram is used to like one consistent thing. I just kind of throw things at them and everyone's pretty receptive.
But that was what like I was impressed with because you did a video about like a showing that you were doing, I guess, right? You were selling a house. And
yeah,
she did,
so that's what I do.
Yeah, so I just built a house for my family and a beach house at the shore, where Jim Tan Laundry was born at the Jersey Shore. And so now I'm like starting to work with brokers and like we're talking about renting it out and like it's interesting because with like real estate people like you get just like comedians you get like all kinds of different type of people 100%. Who are attracted to being in real estate. And so there's definitely the real estate people who are just trying to make the deal and if I can get my money real fast and get out of here. But you like created like there was like cinematography in your video. Like you did this like and I was like but like I'm not teasing you. I'm like it was impressive. So and then I saw a little bit of some of the other stuff that you did, and I was like, oh, I bet she would be great to have on the podcast if you were a movie person. So since you found a movie that you wanted to talk about,
it's funny. Well, when you initially asked, I was like, I was not alive in the 80s. So for me, so I was like, I wouldn't consider myself an 80s movie buff by any means, but then I was like, wait a second, the movie is from the 80s. Yeah. And I know you.
And what's the movie?
The movie, gentlemen. I hate that you have to ask.
Oh, sorry.
Is Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
I have
never heard of the movie before today. I watched it for the first time 3 hours ago.
Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah, of course.
Jordyn, I want to like you. I want to like you as a person, and I want to think good thoughts about you. But you're gonna have to sell me. You're gonna have to sell me on this movie because this movie has pieces that I like. I love David Bowie.
Okay, great.
I love the Muppets.
Great, you're a Jim Henson fan.
I love 80s movies. I love a little bit of fantasy, but that's it. So now you gotta sell me on Labyrinth.
So then that's everything this movie is.
Yeah,
guys.
I know.
Those are a lot of the elements.
Something is like.
You know what? This is like a nostalgic movie for me. So this is like one of those movies we would go up. My grandpa has this like huge property up in the mountains of California, and me and my 12 cousins would get together. And I don't know how or why it was this movie, but this was like every time we were all in the same house, Labyrinth was on.
Really?
Every time. I could not tell you why, but it's just stuck with me forever.
So how old were you the first time you saw this movie, though?
I was probably like 6.
Okay. All right.
And terrified.
Perfect, yeah.
And so terrified, though.
I could see that. I could see it being scary. I mean, it was there were some spooky moments.
I was upset.
I'm 28. I just saw it. There's a few.
I was
moments.
is this demonic? Are they trying to like
some parts of it?
There was some stuff where I was like, why is Jordyn into like ritual abuse of children,
and date rape?
Yeah,
It's like it didn't age well. In hindsight,
it starts with like David Bowie's Drag Race. Like for some reason he's like this is like the drag queen phase of David Bowie's career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his like stringy mullet.
And Jennifer Connelly, who she's the star of the movie. She's a young girl in this movie, but she was a child actress. Goes on to be a very successful, like very well respected actress.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She's in this movie, and she's she's like 16. And she's a pretty 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Whoa! Watch it.
No, I'm just saying, like that's a fact.
That's how she was casted. They were looking for a pretty 16-year-old.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
that's like you don't just fall into a movie. You don't just fall into starring a movie when you're literally one of the only 2 live action people in the whole movie.
Right.
Right.
Initially, I read she was initially going to be the only live action. They were going to make the Jareth a puppet as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So why don't you explain a little bit about the plot for the people listening, and then kind of things that stand out to you and why you really love it.
So it is a Jim Henson, George Lucas film. So there's a lot of visuals in there. Jim Henson came and really like brought it, I would say, with not putting any CGI. I think there's like a CGI owl, which is ridiculous, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a coming of age tale. I mean, it's dark and it's twisted, but it's about this girl. She's 16 years old, kind of stuck in like a fantasy world, hates responsibility, really whiny, super annoying. If you watch it as an adult, hates her little brother and wishes for him to be taken by this goblin king. And it kind of like goes into like this dream state of her, and he's gone. He's taken by Jareth, who's the goblin king, who is David Bowie. And she has to go on this like journey through this labyrinth to find him and save him, and through it all learns about friendship and about maybe her brother isn't the spawn of Satan, and kind of finds herself.
Mm-hmm.
And you all and it's just a crazy Muppet music video throughout the entire thing.
That's true.
And at a certain point she's in the orgy scene from Eyes Wide Shut. Did you guys notice that part? Like
exactly.
I was like, wait, what's happening right now?
It's so wrong, but it's so right also.
You left one big detail out. So David Bowie is like the main villain, right, of this movie. And he's like this. All right. So I'm going to ask Jordyn, since she's seen it more than both of us. What is your opinion of why is David Bowie doing what he's doing in this movie? And is there an ulterior, gross motive that I think think is
So yes.
Yes,
but
right? Okay, all right.
10-year-old me was just like, oh, okay, cool. He's just the bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
Save her brother from the bad guy.
Right.
You don't see that he's wearing spandex pants and his junk is fully exposed.
His junk is out. And let's say, he's got a decent piece. He's got a decent piece. And it's showing.
It's on display.
Yeah.
I blocked that part out. I didn't even process that until you just said it right now. I didn't even know. Like, I think I literally was like not able to process that as an adult.
You're pure of heart, Peter. That's why.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, the older I get.
Staring at his hog.
The older I get, the more I like just worry about kids. Like I don't have any kids, but I have nephews, and I've always been like the oldest. I was the oldest brother, I was the oldest cousin, and everything, and so I've always been like protective of kids. And the older I get, the more movies where kids are in peril freak me out.
Yeah,
like it's not an enjoyable experience for me to fantasize about children in trauma. Like it's not.
God. Yeah, no, this movie makes no sense as an adult. Like I think the only reason I can still watch it is because it like reverts back to childhood, and I can be like, oh, I'm a kid watching this again. But no, I watched it. I broke it up between last night and today, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
What like one of the fun things about doing this podcast has been going back and like revisiting. There's something pure about going back and seeing those movies from when you were a child, as opposed to seeing something brand new now.
Right.
And I think my bias, I realized this today. I think my bias is that I was like forever a 12-year-old. So this, like, you know, when I was like 6, I was watching Rocky 4.
Right.
And Rambo 2. So this was like, and I even like now, like I like Pixar movies, but I like the Pixar movies that like a 12-year-old would like. Do you know what I mean? I love like Ratatouille and The Incredibles. And I actually showed my 3-year-old nephew Incredibles 2. And he got freaked. He's like, turn this off. This is scary. And I was like, oh no. I didn't even realize. I was like, the poor kid is getting traumatized by a cartoon. I thought we were bonding. And so I guess like this is like I missed this movie because I've been hearing about this movie my whole life. And it's a lot of girls' favorite movies. This after Princess Bride, I feel like comes up.
Oh God, yeah.
The most is like female favorite. Maybe like Dirty Dancing, like in that same ballpark. And my sister made me watch a lot of stuff. So I saw Dirty Dancing 100 fucking times.
Well done.
But so for whatever reason, this wasn't in my sister's wheelhouse. So then I wasn't like forced to watch it.
Right.
So I don't have a relationship with
I
this
do
movie.
come from like my family, there are a lot of like, it's all guys pretty much. And they're all just like nerds. So we all did like, I mean, I've always been into the comic book thing and like Never Ending Story was up there. I don't know. Do you guys remember? I think this is more 90s than 80s, but do you remember, what is this movie called? It's the Kangaroos, Warriors of Virtue. Please tell me you remember this movie.
No.
Warriors of Virtue? No, I'm sorry.
See,
I'll look it up right now.
It's a terrible movie.
Oh, okay.
These are just like, these are the ones we'd watch and get stoked about because they were so like, they're fantastical.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love Never Ending Story. I watched over and over again. And then there was one.
Warriors of Virtue has an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's my shit.
That's pretty low.
I don't
love that. Guys.
No, I love that. These screen grabs look pretty great.
Bad movies. I'm a terrible judge of film.
Are you a Muppets person too? Did you like the Muppets?
I mean, I liked when they were. What was the one with their babies?
Muppet Babies, the cartoon. Yeah,
loved that.
I love Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies is great.
Yeah,
but no, I was a big Muppets guy, like Fozzie Bear, Kermit.
Yeah.
Like, but they're also like, I feel like Muppets was geared even more towards adults, even though it was kid stuff. Like the characters existed on like an adult level too.
Parents wouldn't go crazy watching them.
Exactly.
No. But yeah, for whatever reason, and it's funny because this movie did bring back a lot of memories of being scared watching movies as a kid.
Right.
And there was a lot of just like movies where there was like an incantation, like somebody just says some spell, and it like opens up. You know, we did The Gate, which is kind of that kind of a movie. And there was a lot of, and I think it was because of the technology where they had to do like forced perspective and they didn't have CGI. There was a lot of movies with monsters that were very tiny. And I think it's because
Gremlins, like
or even
this movie.
There was a movie called Cat's Eyes with Drew Barrymore as a kid, and there's like a troll that's trying to kill her, and the cat is actually the only. Like the parents think that the cat is bad for the daughter, and meanwhile they don't realize that the cat is protecting Drew Barrymore from the troll. But like this movie made me think. Anytime there's like a scary small person, it just makes me. It brings back bad memories of my childhood.
Yeah. There's some other stuff I wanted to get to or discuss because, all right, so the David Bowie weirdo angle, I'm glad I wasn't the only one picking up on that. All right.
He's like a pedophile.
Basically, right?
100%.
And he refers to her as a child. Like it's not like he's like trying to kid himself, you know?
No.
So
I mean, that word pedophile gets thrown around nowadays. Like 16-year-old.
Does it?
Guys, like, if it's like
he's 40, Peter.
Yeah, what are you talking about? There's no rationalizing this.
The masquerade, come on, there's no way around that.
It was very Eyes Wide Shut. I said it. There's something that was creepy about that. But it's like, he's looking for like a queen, and he's grooming her, but she's not.
Ugh.
She's young.
There was
no petting. Awful. There was no petting.
Don't ever say grooming. That is so gross.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, the pedophiles. Fucking weird shit. But another angle of this that I thought was definitely intentional was basically like this whole thing is like a psychedelic trip,
For
kind
sure.
of like, a la Alice in Wonderland, like very much that kind of vibe. Especially when she eats that fruit that she gets from what's his name?
The roofie? Yeah. From
well,
Hoggle.
Right, the thing that sends her into the Eyes Wide Shut party thing.
Yeah.
That is just a classic, like, whatever, taking acid or dropping acid or taking mushrooms scene. Like, basically, she eats that and she has no idea, any sense of time, and everything just starts to melt around her. I started to think, okay, this movie might be fun to watch,
Dang.
Yeah, like on mushrooms.
I think that would ruin everything for me.
It might get scary.
I have to.
Yeah, it might get a little scary. I might.
Can I ask a question? Why didn't she put a paper napkin over her drink so that
she
no
should
one
have
could do anything to her?
Because
she clearly doesn't have. She doesn't have the nail polish that changes colors when something is not to be eaten or drank.
They make that,
guys. Yeah,
that's a
real thing. That is how in danger us females are.
Wait, do you have that?
I do not, but I'm pretty. I'm a hawk on my stuff. So.
Yeah.
I hate that even has to be.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's awful. It's awful.
It's absolutely insane.
But
I feel like right now, the predators are probably pissed.
What do you mean?
That everyone is just in their homes. And safe.
Right.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because I go out a lot. Like, I am not staying in my apartment, so I go for bike rides.
Sure.
Oh, I know. Dang it.
I took a walk today in Central Park, and I live in East Harlem, and dudes are spitting game right now, and it's hilarious.
Black guys.
No.
Girls are wearing masks.
Yeah.
Everyone just has like a panicked energy.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to get too close. No. And dudes are like, yo, baby, what's up? Where you going?
Oh,
where you going so fast?
God.
And I'm like, I was like, do work. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Like, people
the game never ends.
That's what they do.
Some guys are just always on. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
always.
Hilarious.
I thought about this yesterday. And so, like, you know how they, like, women say, the whole thing is that women not smiling at strange men in New York.
Right.
Because it's like a green light. So I get a lot of smiles. And it's a weird thing, but like, if I'm on a sidewalk and I'm just like passing a girl, she smiles at me and I smile at her. And I think I hope that means like she senses that I'm like a good dude and I'm not gonna. And it used to be a thing that I used to fight with my ex about it, because I used to work at a place with like I was a big restaurant, so the cocktail servers, all stuff. And she's like, "Oh, do the girls that work for you flirt with you?" And I go, "Well, I get a lot of smiles." And so then she'd be like, "Oh, so you get a lot of
said that.
You get a lot of smiles today." Like, it was a lot of that. So like yesterday, I was walking and a girl was walking towards me and she had a mask on, and I saw like the smile in the eyes a little bit.
I think you're a little delusional, man.
No, I would never.
Yeah, because at first I was like, "Oh, these people are smiling at Peter. I'm not buying this." And now he's saying that he could tell when they're smiling behind masks. You're like, a little bit full of yourself.
I'm like a golden retriever. Like, I'm just like kind of like I give that kind of energy. But I feel like that's gonna be like, that might be the next, like, the new reality where you're literally gonna have to like process. Like, I used to have a crush on my pharmacist, and it was a very high counter. So I had to decide, like, I like had a crush on her based on her like eyes and her forehead and how.
Well, Tyra Banks teaches the art of the smiling with your eyes. So we're all going to have to go take a note out of Tyra's book.
Oh shit! How do you do that? Do you know to do that?
It's kind of like a smolder, but a friendlier smolder.
It's
so you got to smile with your. Some people just don't smile with their whole faces. They just like fake smile. But when you smile with your whole face, your eye, like you said, your cheeks just kind of come up. You smile.
Yeah, you see it. See, Alex shits on my ideas, and then it turns out Tyra Banks is making millions selling the same shit that I'm coming up with for free. Yeah. No, but it's gonna be funny when like literally you're gonna like all our interactions, like you're basing your opinion on a person just on the bridge of their nose and their eyeballs.
It's going to be like when you're at the dentist and they are having conversation with you and you can't respond, but you like try with your eyes and like thumbs up and things.
I used to get my dentist used to want to argue about politics and stuff while he was drooling in my mouth.
No.
So he would just speak, and then every like 15 minutes I would spit out and then say a thing, and then he'd go back to drilling in my mouth. But he was just like, I think he was more him. He was trying to get some shit out. He was like he was like a frustrated dentist. He wasn't really happy about his career or whatever. But so you're in California right now?
I am, yeah. So by chance, I ended up here 60 days ago, give or take. I was here for a charity event that got canceled, and then was like, screw it, I'll just bunker down with my parents and forget how to cook or clean for the duration of this.
Nice.
Yeah.
What part of California?
So they live in Riverside, which I don't expect anyone to know, but it's like an hour. Oh, if you've ever heard of Riverside, motherfucker. It's usually before like techno songs.
Yeah. What is that? Is that from your town?
I have no idea, but we claim it.
That would be so funny. If you guys had your own style of techno that was like born in Riverside, California.
Yeah, there's literally nothing significant about Riverside except for the fact that Breaking Bad was supposed to be shot here, or it was based on Riverside.
Wait, so are you like
we got
east
a lot of
Los Angeles? Are you inland from LA?
Yeah, we're on the way to like Vegas.
Because I heard that it was like based on kind of like the quiet desert part of Southern California.
That's all me, baby.
And that's where you grew up?
That's right. Well, I kind of jumped around. So born in like Carson, California, right near Compton, and then moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico for a little bit, which is where Breaking Bad ended up.
Yeah.
I'm just following that
theme here. Yeah.
I do. I've never I've never indulged in the methamphetamines, but
okay.
It's near.
You should try it.
Yeah,
no.
For lunch.
What the fuck?
Maybe for lunch tomorrow.
What? No, it's good. It's healthy. I heard. I don't know.
Yeah, healthy dose of meth.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Riverside when I was in like third grade, and then LA. Of course, when I got older, I moved to LA for a little bit, and then Tokyo for 3 years, and then New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tokyo is my number one place that I have not visited that I want to visit.
I mean, probably going to be an odd place for a while after all of this, but it is magical.
Yeah. I had a friend that lived there that I could have stayed with in college, and I never went, and I regret it to this day.
Damn it.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Damn.
I don't know. It was weird, and I was like I traveled a lot. I just didn't get to Asia, but I would have loved to go to Tokyo.
Tokyo, especially if you're looking at Asia as a place to visit, Tokyo is so expensive for like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Had I not been working out there, it wasn't really a trip I would have been able to take in my younger years. So. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why like being able to stay for, like with traveling, it's the getting from place to place and where you're going to stay are the two biggest expenses.
Right.
So like having a free place to stay, I really blew it.
Man.
But whatevs. What are you going to do? But So what do you? So you haven't seen Pandemic New York?
I haven't, and I don't plan on it either. Like
really?
My lease is up June 1.
Oh, good for you. That works.
I know.
Yeah,
it's perfect. Well, it sucks because I'm here and I have all my stuff. So I'm flying in on the 18th, packing up, sending like what's important to me to storage, and coming right back to California.
No, that's smart.
So you're gonna relocate for good?
Not for good. No, there's no way I can say bye to New York yet. But I just heard that there's gonna be another flare up in fall.
That's what people are saying. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it works. Like I would not I'm in a situation where I'm living in Jersey right now with my mom, but my apartment in New York, my lease isn't up till end of October. Oh, so it's just like I'm paying for no reason right now, and it sucks. Like, but I mean, what am I going to do? I can't really get out of the lease, and no one's subletting now. Like, there's no incentive to go to my apartment. So it's just like this no man's land. So yeah, you lucked out with that timing there, because I've been thinking about like, is there a way I could like make my lease shorter or something?
Ask them. A lot of landlords are like,
oh yeah, you're in real estate. What should I do? What should I do? Do I have any out here?
You do. I mean, there's a lot of wiggle room right now. So I would ask, I mean, they're going to be, so I don't know if you guys have heard of. This is so helpful
for anyone listening too, by the way. So thank you so much. All right.
Of course. Okay. So first of all, there is a masterclass that a few friends of mine have taken, and it's called, I think it's called like hostage negotiation.
Oh, whoa.
And it's it's a hostage negotiator, and he just kind of gives you skills for negotiating literally anything. So he actually talks about like how to negotiate like with a landlord or whatever it is. And so full disclosure, I have not watched it or I've not taken the class yet, but a girlfriend of mine kind of told me about it. And she's like, no, you just go in and you really make it seem like your problem is going to be huge.
Okay.
And
yeah.
You get their expectation all the way up here.
I could do that.
And,
yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. There's a fire that happened in your apartment.
Right.
And then you kind of like bring it down and just be very like, I know this is so much to ask of you, but this, and that. And she ended up getting her rent cut in half.
What?
She didn't in half.
Come on.
For 2 months. I mean, we'll see what happens after that. But
that's because she was just like very sincere about it and everything. All right. Well, hold on a minute.
Very sincere. Go ahead.
This is going to sound probably bad, but is she like super attractive or something? Like, what is the catch here? Like, I'm not
100%. Yes, but
all right.
This was on the phone, and she's never met her landlord. She's never met her landlord.
Whoa!
I don't think.
Okay, all right.
So I'm in a unique situation because I rent my apartment in New York City, but I'm also like my parents are landlords, and so I manage. I manage one 4-family for them, and then my dad just inherited another 4-family. And
epic.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, but none of the tenants can pay rent right now. So 3 of the 8 tenants can pay rent right now. And everybody, like, it's funny because I'm an ideal tenant because my whole life I was like dealing with being on the landlord side.
Not to do to be an asshole.
So I don't want to be a scumbag on either side. Like, I don't want to be a shitty landlord and I don't want to be a shitty tenant. So it's easy for like the landlord, like, as a society, we like, how many like times are landlords like villains in stuff? But like these are people that are, most of them are not sitting on piles of cash. The rent pays the bills. So what's interesting is that, you pay bills quarterly. So February is when you pay bills. And then March is when the shit hit the fan with this. Now May is the next quarter. So
but are landlords not getting a break from any of this either? Like,
there hasn't been, nothing has been really finalized. So there is forbearance on mortgages. But all that means is you get 90 days, but then on the 91st day, you got to come up with 3 months worth of mortgage. So it's not really a break.
That's not a break.
It's just deferring it, right?
It's more of it's ridiculous when you think about it. Because if I didn't have the money for 90 days, how am I going to come up with a huge lump sum?
It doesn't make sense.
On the 91st day.
Yeah, that literally makes no sense. It doesn't help.
But there's going to have to be, and I mean, my parents are like, they're freaking out about it. I'm like, listen, Mom, it's not like you personally are in this situation and you got to go explain to the bank. Like, listen, I had some hard times. It's like literally the entire world.
That's why. That's what I thought. That's why I was thinking it was hopeless. Like,
it's going to be because it's going to be interesting because like I almost think like, I mean, today is what is it? May 1st, because we're told that and we all agree that today is May 1st. If once the shutdown ended, we all collectively go, let's just call this March 15th.
That'd be great.
And we just start over. Like, what would be the harm? Like, we literally, if
everyone collectively did it, it would be
the seasons would change.
Say we all went into if we went into a 90-day coma. It's like when you watch Alien. Like, they don't age when they're in the fucking in the capsules because the whole point is to slow down aging when they're going like traveling for 50 years. So if we collectively were like, all right, let's just wash our hands of the last 90 days and just start over. Like, what would be? I mean, obviously that's like a little bit pie in the sky, but it's going to be interesting because once the world starts moving again. Mm-hmm. People are not. Things are not just going to be great away. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess for a while.
Yeah.
And I was in the restaurant business for a long time. A lot of my friends are in the restaurant business.
Same.
That's also like a landlord tenant scenario. Right. Mm-hmm. And obviously a lot of my friends are artists that their livelihood depends on it's basically the same business. It's packing people in and selling them drinks and food and selling tickets and stuff. So it's going to be really, and I mean, maybe I'm like being overly optimistic. Like I have a barbecue scheduled for May 17th. Like
it's not happening. I've been telling you this for 2 months. Dude.
My birthday is May 10th, which is Mother's Day, so I'm not going to do it on Mother's Day. But
that's my best friend's birthday.
It's the best. It's the best day to be born, really. All the best people were born then. But no, it's like I'm like May 17th. People are gonna want to get out of the house. People are gonna want to grill. Like I don't know.
We're getting antsy. I don't know, man. You'll have some of the hoax believers there.
Yeah. Should have like a little rally at your barbecue.
I'm getting more and more hoaxy all the time.
Alex, there is, I don't know where you live in the city, but there's programs that they're trying to get. Hospitals are paying for, doctors and first responders to be put up in the city in homes. So that could be an option for you as well.
What do you mean? So, well, obviously I'm not someone that works at a hospital or a first responder.
Yeah, but to offer your space.
Oh, that would be awesome. All right, I'll look into that. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll see what I can dig up as well for you because there are options for sure.
Okay, yeah, I actually live right by a hospital, so maybe that is.
Yeah, you live in Lenox Hill,
down the street, basically down the street from Cedars-Sinai.
Oh, see, that could be perfect.
Yeah, shit, it's completely empty. I mean, all right, I gotta figure it out.
You gotta be strategic. Well, so Jordyn, for me, like, what do you? Are people buying and selling right now, or what are people doing?
So we definitely had that like moment of standstill. Mm-hmm. And I would say maybe 2 weeks ago, there's going to be opportunists in these situations always. And I welcome them with open arms. So I'm also an opportunist in the sense, but the rates have never been lower.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to start picking up some people are like are hoping that it's going to go to a complete crash, but that's a gamble in itself. Like rates are super low. So we have a lot of people buying. We have a lot of people selling out of Manhattan because they're just like, I'm not going to do this again. I don't know what's going to happen. Put me in Connecticut, put me in Miami, put me in LA.
Right.
And thankfully I'm part of a network with what I do where I can sell kind of nationwide and I can facilitate those moves all across the country. So business has been good.
Yeah.
A lot of relocation as well. Like just temporary relocation has been picking up as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my situation, like we had a lot at the Jersey Shore. We had a house at the Jersey Shore that got ruined in Hurricane Sandy. So a year and a half ago, so we had an empty lot. A year and a half ago, my mom was like, "Oh, you need a day job? Why don't you build us this house?" So I literally learned how to GC on the fly to build the house, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I got my CO like March 20th. Like literally, I had my final inspection like the week after they started shutting everything down.
Yeah.
But
you did well. Did you pass?
2 minutes. The guy was in there for 2 minutes. It's cool because
epic.
It was a cool experience because the whole time like I'm doing this stuff and I'm like so nervous that I'm going to make mistakes. And meanwhile, the guys who are like experts are making mistakes left and right. Like the architect screwed up. I don't think there was a single sub or person that I worked with that didn't make a mistake where I'm like, I can't believe I'm paying you money to do this job.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, and so the job of the GC and the homeowner is to make sure that the other people are doing their job. So I'm having to make decisions and I don't even know the terminology. Like people are asking me like, the electrician's like, where do you want the disconnects? I was like, I don't know what the disconnects are, but guess what? Now I know what disconnects are. They power the AC compressors and you have to put them in a certain place where you're going to put the AC compressors. But it was a cool experience. And I had one inspector. He's like, "Oh, are you a contractor down here?" And he goes, "Oh no."
That's when you say yes.
No, I said
yes,
I'm a comedian in New York City. He goes, "Oh no shit." He's like, I love comedy. And then he goes, you wouldn't believe how many of the builders down here don't know how to do this stuff. Like, so the builders are fucking up left and right. So the building inspector, by the time I got to my final inspection, he had been there for like 6 or 7 inspections. So he could see like the work that I was doing. Like he could see that I wasn't bullshitting and that I wasn't fucking around. So he came that day. He was in the house for like 5 minutes. He's like, "Looks great. Congratulations." And he goes, "I canceled all my other inspections, but when I saw your name on the sheet, so I got my CO like literally the last possible moment. Like they shut the construction office, like everything is shut down. So the thing we're doing now is trying to like rent. It's it's at the beach. Like now would be we would be getting
Send
people in
me
there.
footage, Peter. Send me footage.
He's got some good footage actually. Yeah, it's a beautiful house. I will say that. I make fun of Peter a lot, but you built a very, very beautiful house.
The mistake I made was not like turning it into like a show where I was like doing like 5-minute YouTube videos of like every step of the way. I want. So that's what my question is. I want to do this again now. So the town we're in, there was already like in comparison to the other towns, the prices were a lot lower, and you're you're basically surrounded by. It'd be like if you wanted to invest like like on 97th Street on the east side. It's like that like at 86 you're gonna pay $5 million, but you might be able to get something for $1 million. But you're literally 8 blocks. You know what I mean? Like it's only a matter of time before the money comes that way, and you can see it. Like, I remember when back in the day when I crossed 96, you're like, oh shit! Like there was like a lady in a wheelchair in the middle of Lexington with a baby at 3:00 in the morning. I was like, where the fuck am I? Now it's all like now it's all luxury buildings going up there because that's the way real estate works. So it's kind of
you're ahead of the curve.
So it's a similar scenario where it's like there's $1 million houses all around us. And then there's $500,000 and $600,000 houses. So people are looking for deals there. But I just don't know now. It's like, this is a beach town. Like they're literally...
And that's what people want.
People are going to go to the
what
beach.
People want. 100%.
Yeah, the beaches are already opening up in like Florida and all those places. I mean, eventually, like it'll lag behind in New York, New Jersey because of how hard New York got hit. But I think people will... I mean, because it doesn't really, as far as I could tell, based on all like the news reports I've seen and whatever, the spreading of this like coronavirus outside is a lot less than people like originally thought. It's really about being in enclosed spaces like the subway, which is probably why New York got hit so hard, is because it's the only city I could think of that has millions and millions of people in such a small space every single day. But like being outside at the beach, being in the water, I don't think it's necessarily the most dangerous thing.
No, I think
people will want to get away from their cities and sort of spend weekends or weeks on the beach.
Like the cure for everything is not being around a bunch of other people in a tight space.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you have asthma, if you have anything you have, like the natural cure for everything is get out into get fresh air,
sun,
and get into the sun. So like New York City is literally the worst, and we were fighting yesterday. We weren't fighting. I was getting mad yesterday. We recorded an episode. The fact that they just decided
and you fighting?
No, I was getting upset. We weren't fighting, but I was getting worked up about them cleaning the subway until now. It's like what were you guys thinking this whole time? Like what'd you think to do at your extra time? Like what the fuck? Like
unreal.
I said, If you got the little troll from Labyrinth and made him governor of New York State and said, what do you want to do first to fight a pandemic? He would probably come up with clean the subways pretty quickly.
I mean, like we all pass through it. We're all in this like teeny tiny space coughing and sneezing and singing and pole dancing.
Underground
in these subways.
With no air.
Oh, have you not had a pole dancer in one of your
No, I
yet?
have. It's just, I wish.
Oh, wait, you mean the Showtime kids?
Showtime.
Yeah.
I love
those guys are so talented.
I love all.
Crazy.
I have a soft spot for all like performers. Like if I see mariachis come on the train, I'm like, yes, like finally, like I want. Everyone else is like, motherfucker.
I'm the same. I love it.
Yeah, subway performers. I love like the guys on the platforms, like in Union Square. I love that shit. To me, I rode my bike 2 days ago and I went to Washington Square Park, and there was two guys. The guy had a full drum kit in Washington Square Park, and I was like, this is what makes New York, New York. I love this.
Amazing.
You know, even in the middle of people are like clapping through their fucking face masks. I could see them smiling. I could see their eyes. I could see their eyes.
They're smizing.
I could see their eyes, Tyra Banks. But so it's funny because stand-up comedy is on hold.
Stand-up's
a while,
done, guys.
So real estate.
I was talking to a bunch of comedians yesterday, actually. On it, they were doing this like Zoom open mic thing. I wasn't gonna, whatever. And they were just like, "Oh, I can't wait. A couple months, we'll be back in the clubs." I was like, "Dude, I don't think it's happening for this whole year. And even if it does, I mean, the guys doing Zoom open mics are not going to be the guys that they bring back first. So it's just like, get a podcast started. I don't know. So become a YouTuber, do something, man, because a lot of my friends are out of work. It's nuts.
So I do like every Thursday night, I do a live music thing on my Instagram. I just invite like 3 up and coming artists or very established artists to come and like perform. I was wondering, like, is there an avenue to relay comedy in that format? Is that without an audience?
People are trying it. People are doing like comedy clubs on Instagram and stuff where it's like,
is it working?
I think it is for some people. It's not, to me, it's not really stand up, and that's fine because stand up, you can't do stand up not live. You can't have stand-up comedy where it's like timing, setup, punchline, laughter, like that can't be done digitally because it's just, you're not there and it's just not funny. But you could do a podcast digitally. I mean, those are hugely successful. So I just think comedians who are funny should just, translate that talent into like some sort of like, you could like live stream a conversation or a talk show, or maybe you could figure out how to, start your own sort of thing where you're like, you do a podcast by yourself, but like maybe you have like internet, you could do a screen share and show like the articles you're talking about, and then do some fucking video editing and make it look nice. And I mean, those people, the YouTubers, they're ahead of all the comics because they've been doing that for years. And I don't think
they haven't had to rely on anyone else.
Right. And I don't think any comedians understood how much editing work it took to be a YouTuber. All these stupid comedians, just talking into a microphone, that being the only thing they need. And they don't even need to bring their own microphone. It's like the easiest fucking job in the world if you're funny. Now they're all fucked because they have no like technical skills.
I agree. And like, I'm a big believer in like respecting the medium. So, like, stand-up is a particular medium that, yes, I believe it has to be, like, in a room with people, with a stage. I mean, it's
not even about respect, though, not to cut you off. It's just, it doesn't work without you being there in the room.
Medium. And there's a reason why even on talk shows on TV, they have a studio audience.
Right.
Yeah,
so even though it's going on television, they're still playing in the room. And I think that, like, so respect the medium. So if the medium now is this, I think people having conversations and people being able to be 5,000 miles apart and having a conversation is true to this medium much more than me standing against the wall in my living room and pretending that what I'm doing is another thing. Do you know what I mean?
Like, got it. That makes sense.
It comes across force.
This works. So I did a live thing on Instagram yesterday, and the guy had Debbie Gibson on, which was speaking of like 80s. It was awesome. Like he's been like sending her messages, and she finally was like, "Hey, I have time. I can do."
No way.
So she came on, and it was so fucking cool. She is like really, she was one of those. I had to listen to her when I was a kid because my sister was playing that tape over and over again. But like she was very like grounded and like for someone who was like a star at 18, who's now still a performer, still an artist, she's got like a really like cool perspective on what it takes to be an artist. Okay. And she she's saying she's like, I don't know stand-up comedy, but like I have friends that are comedians, and it's the same thing where like, when I started out, I was singing in basements with the pipes exposed and all that stuff. So it was so cool to hear from somebody who had been like a mega star, who's still working, still doing stuff, still making stuff. And then then afterwards he interviewed me and another comedian, and like to me that was like, I would much rather do that than like if I just started like telling you jokes right now, like it would be so right. It would, because it's like
it's really because stand-up comedy is stupid.
It is.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I love stand-up comedy. It's like my favorite thing.
I love it too.
It's very stupid. It doesn't work recorded and played back like that. There's a reason why stand-up specials, even stand-up specials, are never as good as it is when you see comedy live. Even though that's a perfectly polished hour that the person has worked on and they're very talented. If those people weren't in the room with them at the time of the recording, it just wouldn't work. It's just, there's this guy, Drew Michael, and he's a very funny stand-up comedian. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he had an HBO stand-up special. And he did this experiment where he did it without an audience. I'm sure Peter knows of this.
I haven't watched it, but I know what it is.
He's a really great comedian, and the jokes are very solid, but it's awful because there's no response. There's just gaps, and it's just set up punchline, perfectly polished jokes, and there's like kind of a backing track, but it's just taken very seriously, and it's not stupid enough. My point is that stand-up is like you see other people laughing, you laugh because some guy just said the N-word or something he wasn't supposed to say. And I'm serious.
I mean, it's that feeling like that feeling of like, is he going to flop right now?
Right.
And that's why I like going to like some of these more amateur like open mics because you get more of that feling of shit.
Oh, sure you do.
Oh
Alex,
shit, where the ship is sinking.
Dude, Alex, we're in a coffee shop behind a dive bar in East Harlem, and she's watching the open mic. And I was like, why are you? I was like, do you live in the neighborhood? She goes, no, I live across town. I was like, you crossed? I don't cross. I wouldn't cross the park for a business opportunity.
I gotta be honest. I haven't been to an open mic in a year. I think
I genuinely love like watching comedy. I think it's fascinating, and it's so brave of you guys getting up there. So it's like for me, I'm like, this is great because you're either gonna succeed or you're gonna fail, and either way, I am so entertained.
But the people in the room are part of the experience. That's part of the experience.
Yes,
and that's why it has to be. It's such a human thing, though. It's like whether you're going to church or going to a PTA meeting, like going to a Broadway play. Like I really find it hard to believe that we're just going to stop congregating in groups and doing stuff. Like I don't buy it.
I think we will come back to it, but it's just it's going to be a long time in relative terms, meaning that especially in New York City, these comedy clubs don't have more than 2 or 3 months like rent saved up.
Like every other.
They can't.
Business,
Right. But like comedy clubs, especially, like we know these owners. Come on, they are not good at managing money. I mean, I know personally a bunch of them, and some of them are great people. But I mean, the idea that they could stay open for 6-12 months of limited capacity or no capacity, I don't see how that happens.
I know with restaurants, basically, unless the restaurant is packed, unless you're doing 2.5 turns a night.
And selling drinks,
you're barely making it. It's the overhead is astronomical. Restaurant business is a terrible business for that reason.
Yeah.
But it's like a romantic thing in New York City. It's like
I'm gonna miss it so much.
I know.
It's just quickly though, like the doing stand up in this kind of a setting. I just had this funny Jordyn. Have you ever been like talking to a guy you just met a guy and you're speaking? And then he just starts dancing on you without telling you, and you're like, "This is." You know
Probably
what I mean? It's like,
yes, actually, but
it's like no. I thought we were doing this one thing, and now you're just gonna transition into this other awkward. Like that's how I would feel. Just all of a sudden, just starting to do jokes on this. It's like it's uncomfortable. It wouldn't feel right. But doing I feel like this medium is gonna evolve. Doing stuff remotely through video and everything is gonna.
Well, even just seeing watching these podcasts on YouTube has been fascinating. Also, like I have a couple comedian friends that are doing it so well, and it's like it's what I would choose to do with my time, to watch or to listen to with my time now. Is like it's comedy. It's comedy and and I belly laugh on some of these.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some really funny fucking podcasts out there. I mean, it's definitely different than stand-up, but no, this one's not funny. Yeah, this one's...
it's because you guys have...
We don't try
you haven't
to be
gotten
funny.
me yet.
We don't try to be funny. We're not trying...
Well, sometimes
it's informative.
Yeah, it's more of a informative podcast.
Conversation.
But I will, just to bring it back to the movie, just to put a bow on this, I know how crazy this movie is and how just like how absurd it is, and I probably would have never watched it without doing this podcast. But I have to say I did enjoy watching this movie just for the sheer absurdity and some of the shots that were just insane. The music wasn't bad. It was enjoyable. I don't know, Peter. I didn't really get a sense of what you thought of the movie. I'm not saying I was like, that it's my favorite movie of all time or anything.
You guys will never watch it again, but now you can say that you have.
Yeah, I was trying. I was really trying, and then I tell you what, I got really happy when the Shaggy dog appeared.
Ambrosius?
Yeah, I love a Shaggy dog, and I feel like anytime a Shaggy dog shows up in a movie, like everything's gonna be okay. But then it was the Eyes Wide Shut scene, and I was like, wait a minute, like, so now you rolled me in. Now I'm in, right? Now you got me. You're pulling on my heartstrings, and now you got me.
That was the plan all along.
And now you got me worried about Jennifer Connelly all over again, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
but that's how these pedophiles work. They bring you in with the dogs.
Yeah, they do. They always have
puppies
dogs
in a van. Yeah,
yep.
Or like
pedophiles love dogs. That's
chocolates.
What we're saying.
Yeah,
baseball cards.
So we got you, Peter.
Yeah,
done. Mission accomplished.
Yes,
Peter. I'm on team Corey Feldman. I'm just like looking out. I'm like wondering
what does that mean?
Oh, like, I haven't watched that yet. I haven't.
Oh, is that that documentary thing he did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't, but I wonder. It worries me a lot.
Yeah. Well, if you got to the end of the movie, it ends up being a feminist film. She realizes she doesn't need them. She don't need no man. She fights with her own power. She don't need no man. No.
Not no hybrid female man.
That's right. So, He's very fluid in this movie.
Well, David Bowie in real life.
Progressive trans bitch. I don't know. I'm sorry. What?
What does that character grow up to be?
Which one? David Bowie?
Jennifer Connelly's character.
Sarah, well, she should never have a child based on how much she hated her brother.
Yeah, it's an odd impulse to have, to hate.
Especially at that age. It's one thing if you're like 4 and you hate the new baby.
Yeah.
But if you're sick, like usually the 16-year-old is like taking care of the baby.
Right.
That's a weird dynamic.
Oh, no.
So she shouldn't have children. That's true.
She should not, but she's definitely going to be an actress, clearly. And and her name is Jennifer Connelly. She just changed her name. It's actually a true story.
Oh, okay. It's her. Wow. I didn't know that.
She grows up to get an Oscar and then kind of weirdly disappears for a while and then pops up.
Yeah, where has she been, man?
There's something that happens to actresses. Like they...
What does that mean?
No, they like...
It sounds like you're about to do something to them.
No, even the great ones, like there's like long stretches. Like there's so many women. Like I go back and I look at like older movies and I'm like, oh, this woman won an Oscar. And then she wasn't in anything for a long time. And so like
that probably is though, they go and have families and they're mothers and they're pregnant and they're,
it's also,
so I think that's a big part of it as well.
Also too, it's like, I mean, it's a business of relationships. And if you get too big for your britches, like it backfires a lot of times. So a lot of these people, like they win an Oscar or something and then they start asking for more money. And then they only want to do like serious stuff because it has to be, Oscar worth. It's like that's what my thing with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like you don't have to like try to win an Oscar on every single movie. Like have a little fun every once in a while. And then he started to do it. He started to do it with Quentin Tarantino, and that I thought he was great in the
God,
Tarantino
I loved
movies.
that movie so much.
Oh my god!
Yeah. We've talked about it. It's so
I just rewatched it yesterday. I've seen it like 7 times
so
already.
Good. Sorry, I'm veering off of not 80s movies, but did you guys see The Gentleman?
No, not yet. I really want to see it.
Oh, Guy Ritchie, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah,
it's Peter.
Yeah, I know. I want to see it. I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen it yet. But
very good.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I fucking, it's like right up my alley. Like cowboys, Hollywood, like old stuff.
Oh yeah,
fights.
Well, that story's so intriguing, and to just see it like kind of flipped in that way was brilliant.
Yeah,
it's really,
it really is. It's really such a great story. Like, I mean, I know that it's tragic in real life. Yeah. Like the whole.
But in this one, they get to win. Yeah. You get to win.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. It's a really funny, really violent ending. Yeah. That's satisfying somehow.
I just wanted to watch the ending yesterday, so I just put on the ending, and and I was watching it in the theater, and this is like, I'm a huge Tarantino guy. I fucking love Tarantino. And but like I don't think he's perfect. Like I have plenty of like criticisms of his stuff, but I'm watching this movie in the theater and I'm going, oh no, like I'm gonna have to watch the murder of Sharon Tate. And I literally, like, me personally sitting in the theater, I thought to myself, I don't think I can handle that. Like, I don't think I could sit here and watch this murder played out on screen. And I even thought about, like, I'm like, I might even just, like, walk out. So, like, it's brilliant that he sets the audience up that way.
Oh, yeah, you're scared. You see her and she's beautiful and she's pregnant and you're like, damn it. When you realize, because I didn't know going into it, it was the story of Sharon Tate.
Oh, so I knew.
Until I knew. To that point.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
He intentionally kept it. He tried to keep it under wraps because people were trying to leak the script, if you remember that, and he really didn't want that.
Thinking about it.
So it's really important. So that you don't know going into it.
I knew it was coming, and I was like, motherfucker! Like, I don't want to see that. Like, that would be to me. It's like almost like it'd almost be like watching like a real like death. Like, I wouldn't want to see that in entertainment. And then you watch what happens, and they flip the tables. So then you're cheering for people still getting brutally murdered, but you feel good. But it's
merited. Yeah.
But you feel good because it's these vicious murderers, and then I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. But then he takes it back to like him meeting Sharon Tate and getting invited up to her house, and then you go, oh my god, that woman really died. Like, it really, and it's like that's, to me, like, that's a genius thing that Tarantino did.
He's so good, man.
That you took the audience like on this emotional thing where you don't want this thing to happen, but it really fucking happened. So whether you fantasize about it or not, like, it's such a, like, I don't know. I thought that was ingenious, and I thought it was brilliant.
So I had a younger family member watch it with me, and I wasn't aware that they had never heard about the story. So for them, it was just this brutal fuck up of these random people. I had to explain the whole thing. We had to go into this whole bit, and then it was understood. And now I hope he goes and watches the movie again. But for someone that doesn't know the story, it really misses the mark for them.
Oh yeah, you have to know. You have to know. It's the whole point.
It's the entire movie.
Yeah.
What's cool about it, like, and I didn't know a lot of this stuff, but I knew some of it. Like, this is a lot of this is Burt Reynolds, like, real life. So Burt Reynolds. So Quentin Tarantino was named after a character that Burt Reynolds played on Gunsmoke, which was a Western in the 60s.
Oh.
And so
like the Leonardo character.
Yeah, so a lot of like Steve McQueen, Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds, a lot of these guys started out doing episodic television in the 60s. And Clint Eastwood, I knew about more, but at Burt Reynolds too, they were offered the chance to do spaghetti westerns in Italy. And like Clint Eastwood became an overnight star. He was on TV for like 6 years as like the third lead or the fourth lead. He does A Fistful of Dollars in Italy. It's supposed to be this like little low budget shit movie, turns into an international hit, and that's what makes Clint Eastwood. And Burt Reynolds did the same thing. So a lot of this movie is based on those real guys, but it's also like what could have happened if they end up being the guy that, like we were just talking about, it's like those actors that like 20 years later, you're like, whatever happened to that guy?
Right.
And they're playing like the judge on Law and Order for 2 minutes. Right. So they're still working, but they never became like huge stars. So like Tarantino, like I love all that like Hollywood, like behind the scenes. And at the same time that's happening, the real Charles Manson is like trying to get a record deal and hanging out hanging out with the Beach Boys and hanging out at an old movie, like that was a film location, the Spawn Ranch. Right. They film westerns, and that's where Charles Manson. Like, there's something about cult leaders that is like fucking fascinating to me. Like, if I was gonna pick another line of work, like I was just watching a little bit of that Waco show.
Oh, I started it too.
It's like it's funny because I was talking to somebody. It's like. The only thing with cults is like the cult leader is never like, listen, girls, whatever you do not sleep with the cult leader. Like that's how you always know that these
why
guys
the fuck would he do that?
Well, no, because it's like because they're always telling you that they're like, this is good and you have to do this and we're creating like heaven on earth and this is going to be they're always like they always have some secret knowledge, which is why you're in a compound with them listening to them. But for some reason the secret knowledge always involves them with sleeping with all of the women.
Yeah, the secret knowledge is inside his penis.
So like that's how like I was like if anyone ever wants you to join a cult, like if they say, listen, in this cult we don't sleep with all the female members, then you're like, maybe this guy is a good guy. Maybe he's not a scumbag.
Yeah.
But because all the
that's good advice.
Has there ever been a female cult leader?
Good question.
I wonder.
I don't think so.
Depends on what you consider. So I majored in religion, so I used to know a lot of this stuff. There were a lot of movements like turn of the century. A lot of them actually out of New York State. Like Mormonism started out of New York State. A lot of these. So there was, depending on whether you consider Christian Scientist a cult, which a lot of people do, like that. There was a woman that started. She wrote a book and she became Mary Baker Eddy was her name. So she was like the guru of Christian Scientists. And there was also a lot of a lot of like psychic mediums and that kind of stuff going on.
Okay,
so that was all women. So they would have like a circle of influence where they would literally, like you've seen like in the movie where someone comes and sits at the table with them and they hold their hands and are like, I see your dead husband and he's happy that you're doing okay. Like there was a bunch of women doing
and then
that.
They would have to sleep with her because she's the cult leader.
It was a lot of older women. It was not. It was not like this was like 50, 60-year-old women. It wasn't like. I'll tell you what. If right now like a hot 24-year-old chick started a cult, I don't think she would have any trouble whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I think it's like, coming. I was gonna say Twitch girls, Twitch gamer streaming girls.
I mean, what is
they have men donating thousands of dollars.
What is
it's
OnlyFans?
wild. Have you seen it?
Wow,
OnlyFans is porn, but Twitch is even weirder because they're not doing porn. They're just like talking to the guys.
Oh, cool! Signing up.
Can you imagine?
It's super easy. Literally, you need a microphone like this and just look hot, and then you talk to, and then they pay you. It's unbelievable. I would do it if I was.
So are girls like? Are they being provocative or anything? Or they're just having conversation.
It's like a flirtatious. It's not. Okay. It's not even like really like no nudity. Yeah, you can't be naked on Twitch, so it's like you would get banned if you did anything. It's not. It's,
perfect.
Yeah,
well,
you should definitely do it. I would do it. So I looked this up though. Anne Hamilton Byrne, who just died at the age of 98 last year, she was a female cult leader from Australia. And she said that she was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. So that's cultish.
Does it say what her following was? Like how many people?
Yeah. They were called the Family.
I know about the Family.
She was the leader.
Might be a different family though.
It operated for more than 20 years. I can't see how many members. It looks like the pictures look like there's quite a
lot
bit.
of them end up in California because that's where all the hippies go.
Cool. Well, I'm down to start a cult.
Yeah, you should. I think the female cult leader is coming. It's gonna be what did they call it? A movement, a moment.
Awesome.
That's happening. It's more 2020-ish, like that. This decade.
Amazing.
Maybe it's the decade of the female cult leader. Because I think with these like Instagram girls and these Twitch girls and the people donating money and OnlyFans, I mean, it's only gonna continue. So you know.
Time.
Yeah, I think these men would do anything you say.
Could you imagine like some girl? It's like it's OnlyFans, a girl stripping, and all of a sudden she just turns to the camera and is like, "I want to talk to you about the end times."
Yes,
every guy's like,
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
And guys like, yes.
I was like, "What?"
Tell us everything.
Like, what do you know? Like, do you know what's going to happen? She's like, "Yes, I do know what's going to happen."
Yeah.
But first, hit that $50 switch on the bottom of the
right.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Great.
Love it.
I'm stoked.
We're gonna have to like revisit in like a year. We're gonna have to revisit if there's like a rash of like.
I actually think we're on to something. I'm not even kidding. I think there will, maybe not cult, but there will be like. There already is like people like a hordes of men that follow these like kind of like online streamer girls, and like they don't do anything for them, but they profit. So like to me, there's a weird thing going on there. So maybe the next step would be like some sort of like, I don't know, getting them to do something for her. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
That would be pretty cool.
Build my home, men.
Right.
And I just wear all white. Yeah.
And you have literally millions of people. So like it's possible. Something would happen. I don't know. I mean,
let's start a real estate cult. We'll build. We can build a house. We start renting stuff.
I'm good.
I think that's great.
Yeah. All right. So do you have anything that you want to promote? or plug, or maybe your real estate business, your Instagram handle?
Yeah.
Sure.
I can sell, we can buy, we can rent anywhere in the States. So, hit a girl up. Also, we're working with, my team is called the Private Client Network, and we teamed up with No Kid Hungry since all this started. And, you can donate it's on my Instagram bio right now. So Instagram.com/Jordyn Taylor now. And all the proceeds go towards making sure kids are fed during this time, which is so nuts that so many are going without school lunches and things. So it's a really great foundation, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So if you find it in your heart to donate a bit, then please do.
It's amazing.
Nice. No, that's really great. Yeah.
And you're doing live music shows too on Instagram.
Yeah. So every Thursday on my Instagram Live. Next week we have forget who we booked for sure. Paula Deanda, if you guys remember Paula Deanda, she had some great hits in the 2000s, so she's coming by. I'll
check it out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really nice and really wonderful music. There's this guy that Dr. Elvis. He went viral since all this happened. He's a spinal surgeon who put out like a Lennon Imagine cover and just took off. So we had him on the show last week. Girls love him, obviously. But he also just put out an EP, and 100% of proceeds are going towards COVID, just figuring out things with COVID and just getting supplies to hospitals and things.
That's so nice.
That's great.
I am definitely. I just gave you a follow because that sounds like a fun weekly thing you do. Over there.
Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it.
Of course, and everyone listening, you should too. We'll link everything in the descriptions. Check us out on YouTube. By the way, we're up on YouTube now, or Spotify, or iTunes, whatever you want. And I don't know. I don't really have much else to promote since we're not doing stand up anymore. But
we'll let you guys all know when the cult is ready for your.
Yes.
For you to sacrifice your life to.
Yes.
And
I'll hook you up with the audio equipment. We'll figure that out.
Peter Palooza 2020 is May 17th.
You're going to be sitting in a park by yourself.
It's right across from Jefferson Park in East Harlem. If you're listening to this, you're invited. If you want to bring...
If you're listening to this, you're opening yourself up there.
Tell me, let me... I just need a head count because my dad has his guy make Italian sausage. So my dad has to know how many pounds of sausage to get.
Wait. I fly in the 18th. I'm pissed.
Oh, man. Well, listen, COVID may save your ass because we may have to reschedule to May 31st if depending on how much time we have. But we'll see. No, literally, my dad, like in years past, would be like, how many?
Last year was amazing. To be honest with you, the food was really good.
He ordered like 50 pounds of Italian sausage from his guy, but and there was nothing left at the end either. But no, I like a daytime party, and I like people getting together and being outside, like and barbecuing.
It was really nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I just can't imagine that we're not gonna do that. So I'm hopeful that we are, and I'm glad that we met at a random dive bar in East Harlem. That one open mic.
I'm so happy about that.
Right before the world came to an end. But thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you guys. Thanks for putting yourself through the labyrinth. I
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thank you guys, and I appreciate being on. It was fun.
Yeah,
it's a great pass of an hour and a half. So thank you.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Adios.
Bye.
You're a funny guy, Sally. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
What do you want to tell me now, tough guy? I said, Bing, what are you doing here? I thought I'd tell you to go fuck your mother.